Hello, I'm ML Robin. Listen, when you're feeling stuck in a toxic workplace situation, I want you to do something powerful. Give yourself permission to acknowledge it's not okay. Set a date for how long you'll let this affect you because you deserve better. This chapter isn't your whole story. You were promised completion, but left with confusion. They said love would complete you, that the moment you found your person, everything would make sense. Like life was one big puzzle and someone else held your missing piece. But here's the truth. They didn't tell you no one can complete what was never broken to begin with. That promise, it didn't lead you to peace. It led you to confusion. You kept chasing the perfect moment, the perfect partner, the perfect ending, and each time it slipped through your fingers. Why? Because you were looking outside for something you were always supposed to build inside. Real love doesn't complete you. It meets you where you're whole, and until you stop chasing the fantasy, you'll keep repeating the heartbreak. They told you to find the one but not to become one first. Let me tell you something. They spent your whole life telling you to find the one, as if your worth depended on being chosen. But no one ever told you to become someone worth finding, to be solid in who you are before you ever link arms with someone else. They pushed the idea of finding perfection, but skipped the part about building it from the inside out. Here's the flip. You don't attract peace by needing someone, you attract it by being someone. You want real love? Start by becoming the person you're looking for. The Hollywood love story is a setup for heartbreak. Every movie, every song, every story, it painted love as this magical force that fixes everything. Sparks fly, problems disappear, and two broken people ride off into the sunset. Sounds nice, right? But that fantasy is a setup for real life pain, because real love doesn't look like a perfect script. It looks like work, like growth, like two people standing in truth, not playing roles. Hollywood told you a fairy tale. Life's offering you something better. A love that's real, raw, and built, not imagined. How can you pour from an empty cup? Let's get real. How can you give what you don't have? You want to pour love, support, trust, and strength into someone else, but your own cup is running dry. That's the core problem. You're trying to love from lack. You're giving while drained. You're showing up without showing up for yourself first. And every time you do that, you start losing pieces of yourself to hold something together. That's not love. That's survival. You want to give something powerful. Fill your own cup first. Heal yourself. Respect yourself. Build yourself. Then and only then will your love overflow into something real. Stop waiting to be saved. Start becoming whole. This isn't a rescue mission. No one's coming to pull you out of the fire. You've been sitting there waiting for someone to heal the wound, to pick up the pieces, to fix what life broke. But listen, what you're waiting for is already inside you. It's not about being saved. It's about stepping up, becoming, growing. You're not a half looking for another half. You're a whole person in process. The day you stop depending on someone else to bring the light and start becoming the light is the day everything changes. Love isn't found in luck. It's built in fire. People act like love is a lottery ticket, that if you're lucky enough, you stumble across the right person at the right time. But that's not how it works. Real love, it's built, it's forged, it's shaped by challenge, honesty, patience, and pain. Like steel and fire, you don't find it. You create it, and it doesn't come to the one who waits. It comes to the one who becomes. The fire you walk through alone is what makes the love you build together real. The myth of completion. You aren't half, two halves don't heal. They collide. You've heard it your whole life. I'm looking for my other half. As if love is some scavenger hunt for someone to fill what you lack. But here's what they never told you. When two incomplete people come together, they don't complete each other. They crash. Two broken foundations don't build a solid home. They collapse under the weight of unhealed pain, unmet expectations, and misplaced responsibility. What you call chemistry is often just trauma in disguise. What feels like a spark is sometimes a flare of old wounds. Love doesn't thrive in lack. It breaks. If you want something real, wholeness has to come before romance. Because when two people show up whole, That's not just love, it's power. If you crave completion, you'll attract chaos. Let's cut the fluff. If you walk around desperate to be completed, you'll attract what feeds your emptiness, not your peace. You'll settle for people who mirror your wounds, not your worth. You'll call it fate, but it's really a pattern, one that repeats until you decide to break it. The more you search for someone to fix you, the more you lose pieces of yourself in the process. You weren't built to be rescued. You were built to rise. But if you stay in that craving, chaos will always feel like connection, and you'll confuse survival for love. You're not a puzzle piece. You're the whole damn canvas. You are not a piece waiting to fit into someone else's picture. You're not an edge that needs softening, or a corner that needs filling. You are the canvas, the full thing. The brush, the color, the storm, the sunrise. Stop letting people shrink you into roles, just so you can belong. You were never meant to be a small part of someone else's masterpiece. You were made to paint your own life, bold, loud, and unapologetically whole. And when someone comes along who respects your art, they won't try to fix it. They'll just sit with it in awe. You're not broken. You're becoming. You've been told that your scars mean you're damaged, that your mistakes mean you're broken. But here's the truth. You're not broken. You're becoming. Becoming wiser. Becoming stronger. Becoming more of who you were always meant to be. Every scar, that's not a flaw. It's a chapter. Every tear, that's a seed in the soil of growth. Stop labeling your past as failure. Start seeing it as foundation, because becoming isn't a straight line. It's messy, it's hard, and it's real. But broken? No, you're not broken. You're in the making, and that process, that's what makes you powerful. The love you deserve starts with the you build. You want better love. Build a better you. Not for them, for you. Because the love you attract rises or falls to the level of the life you're creating. If you want someone who's loyal, honest, grounded, you've got to grow into those things yourself. You don't get healthy connection without personal direction. You don't find peace in someone else if you haven't found it in yourself. Love doesn't show up when you wait for it. It shows up when you become the kind of person who lives it. Build your peace. Build your strength. Build your heart, and the right person will meet you there. Stop chasing a half. Start becoming a force. Stop running after people like they're the answer. They're not. You are. Stop chasing the idea that you need to be completed. You don't. You need to become. Become bold. Become honest. Become grounded. Become a force. Because the moment you stop reaching for a hand to pull you up and start standing on your own, is the moment everything changes. You're not half. You're a storm, a light, a voice. And once you own that, everything else aligns. Radical ownership. You bring the energy. The energy you bring builds the relationship. You get relationships. Aren't luck. They don't fall from the sky or happen by chance. They're built moment by moment on the energy you bring into them. You walk in with anger. You create tension. You walk in with presence. You create safety. It's not just about what you say or what you want. It's about how you make someone feel when you show up. Your energy is your message. You're either building a space where love can breathe or a battlefield where it suffocates. If you want something strong, it starts with owning what you carry in. Your energy shapes the atmosphere. Every time. Are you giving what you're demanding? You want honesty. You want loyalty. You want consistency. But are you giving it? You ask for depth, but do you speak with truth? You expect patience, but are you quick to snap? You say you want peace, but do you bring calm or chaos into the room? Here's the hard truth. What you demand means nothing if your presence can't deliver it. Relationships aren't wish lists. They're mirrors. What you project is what reflects. You want a love that lasts. Then give what you expect. Match the energy you crave with the energy you live, because nothing sticks when it's one-sided. People remember how you make them feel, not what you say. You can say all the right things. You can memorize the perfect lines, speak the language of love, even write poetry that makes hearts melt. But none of that lasts if your presence doesn't match your words. People don't remember words. They remember feelings. They remember if they felt safe with you, seen with you, respected by you, or if they felt small, dismissed, or walked over. It's not about being smooth. It's about being real. It's not about performance. It's about presence. Love isn't in the lines you speak. It's in the energy you bring into the room and the way people feel when you leave it. You don't plant chaos and harvest peace. Let me say this clear. You don't get to plant jealousy, control insecurity, and expect trust, freedom, and love to grow. That's not how it works. You don't water a relationship with drama and expect it to bloom in peace. What you plant is what grows. If you want softness, stop speaking in sharp tones. If you want trust, stop acting like a threat. Love needs solid roots, and the root is your behavior, your patterns, your choices. Stop pretending love is magic. It's a garden. You either grow it or you poison it. Your energy is the soil. What are you planting? Want different. Show up different. Stop running after people like they're the answer. They're not. Stop chasing the idea that you need to be completed. You don't. You need to become bold, become honest, become grounded, become a force. Because the moment you stop reaching for a hand to pull you up and start standing on your own is the moment everything changes. You're not half. You're a storm, a light, a voice. And once you own that, everything else aligns. Radical ownership. You bring the energy you bring builds the relationship. You get relationships aren't luck. They don't fall from the sky or happen by chance. They're built moment by moment on the energy you bring into them. You walk in with anger. You create tension. You walk in with presence. You create safety. It's not just about what you say or what you want. It's about how you make someone feel when you show up. Your energy is your message. You're either building a space where love can breathe or a battlefield where it suffocates. If you want something strong, it starts with owning what you carry in. Your energy shapes the atmosphere. Every time, are you giving what you're demanding? You want honesty. You want loyalty. You want consistency. But are you giving it? You ask for depth. But do you speak with truth? You expect patience. But are you quick to snap? You say you want peace. But do you bring calm or chaos into the room? Here's the hard truth. What you demand means nothing if your presence can't deliver it. Relationships aren't wish lists. They're mirrors. What you project is what reflects. You want a love that lasts? Then give what you expect. Match the energy you crave with the energy you live, because nothing sticks when it's one-sided. People remember how you make them feel, not what you say. You can say all the right things. You can memorize the perfect lines, speak the language of love, even write poetry that makes hearts melt. But none of that lasts if your presence doesn't match your words. People don't remember words. They remember feelings. They remember if they felt safe with you, seen with you, respected by you, or if they felt small, dismissed, or walked over. It's not about being smooth. It's about being real. It's not about performance. It's about presence. Love isn't in the lines you speak. It's in the energy you bring into the room and the way people feel when you leave it. You don't plant chaos and harvest peace. Let me say this clear. You don't get to plant jealousy, control insecurity, and expect trust, freedom, and love to grow. That's not how it works. You don't water a relationship with drama and expect it to bloom in peace. What you plant is what grows. If you want softness, stop speaking in sharp tones. If you want trust, stop acting like a threat. Love needs solid roots, and the root is your behavior, your patterns, your choices. Stop pretending love is magic. It's a garden. You either grow it or you poison it. Your energy is the soil. What are you planting? Want different. Show up different. Tired of the same cycles, same pain, same arguments? Then stop bringing the same version of you to the table. Different doesn't start with them. It starts with you. If you want a new story, you've got to stop reading the same chapter over and over. Heal your habits. Watch your words. Sharpen your self-awareness. Better love isn't something that just happens. It's something that shows up when you do. Show up with clarity, show up with maturity, show up with peace. The love you say you want doesn't come when you wait. It comes when you evolve. Lead with love, not from the wounds you refuse to heal. Some of you are leading from pain, wounds you never dealt with, scars you never faced, and every time someone gets close, that pain becomes their burden. That's not love. That's projection. You bleed on people who didn't cut you. You punish people for what someone else did. And then you wonder why it always falls apart. Listen, your wounds are real, but they don't give you the right to harm others. Heal, not for them, for you. So when you lead in love, it comes from strength, not survival, wholeness, not hurt. That's when real connection begins. Do the inner work. Healing isn't optional. The relationship you crave requires the you haven't built. You say you want a relationship that's calm, safe, honest, steady. But are you that kind of partner? You can't hold something healthy with unhealed hands. You'll crush it, mistrust it, push it away. Not because love isn't there, but because your past is louder than your present. The relationship you crave doesn't wait for you to stumble into it. It demands that you rise into it. That version of love won't stay with the version of you that's still run by fear, insecurity, and defense. If you want that next level connection, you have to build the next level you. Growth isn't extra. It's the entry fee. Unhealed wounds don't whisper. They wreak pain. Doesn't stay quiet just because you ignore it. You bury it deep, thinking it's dealt with, but it shows up anyway. In your tone, in your silence, in the walls you build without realizing it. That childhood pain, that betrayal you never talked about, that relationship that shattered you but you never faced. It's all still talking, just louder now. Unhealed wounds don't whisper. They scream through your behavior. They wreck trust. They hijack peace. They twist love into fear. And until you deal with them, they'll keep driving the story. Pain you don't face becomes the pain you pass on. You're not just loving someone. You're loving their history. Every time you enter a relationship, it's not just two people coming together. It's two histories, two upbringings, two timelines of heartbreak, fear, joy, and memory. You're not just holding someone's hand. You're holding everything they've been through, and they're holding yours. If you don't understand their wounds, you'll take their reactions personally. If you don't deal with your past, you'll make them pay for it. Love isn't just about now. It's about what came before. And if you're not ready to carry that weight with care, don't pretend you're ready to build something lasting. Pressure doesn't break diamonds. It forms them. You want something strong. Then understand what creates it. Pressure. It's not the easy days that build the bond. It's the pressure moments. The ones where you're tested, when emotions rise, when misunderstanding shows up. That's where you find out what your love is made of. Just like diamonds form under pressure, deep connection forms when you work through the hard stuff instead of avoiding it. Pressure doesn't mean it's over. It means it's beginning. You either crack or you get clear. Conflict isn't the end of love. It's the beginning of understanding. It's not punishment. It's formation. Talk it out. Don't walk it out. Say it again. Talk it out. Don't walk it out. Because every time you walk out, you teach the other person that hard conversations lead to distance. And eventually they'll stop talking. They'll keep it in. And that silence, that's where connection dies. If you want something that lasts, you have to stay in the conversation, even when it's tense, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. Words build bridges. Silence builds walls. So talk it out. Don't slam the door. Don't ghost. Don't run. Stay. Speak. Listen. That's how strong love is made, through words, not exits. Conflict isn't the end. It's the entry point to deeper love. You think the argument is a problem, but sometimes the argument is the doorway. The thing you're avoiding, that's the thing that needs to be faced. Conflict reveals what's buried. Insecurity, fear, frustration. And when you face it with honesty, you unlock something deeper. Conflict handled right doesn't destroy, it bonds. You understand each other better. You see where healing is needed. You grow trust, not just through peace, but through navigating the storm. Don't fear the mess. Step into it with maturity. Because love that only works when it's easy isn't love, it's comfort. Love that walks through conflict. That's real. Build bridges, not burn them. Even when it's hard in the heat of the moment, it's tempting to raise your voice, shut down, or throw emotional grenades. But anyone can destroy. It takes strength to build, even when you're hurt, even when you're mad, even when your pride wants to win. Real love isn't about being right. It's about staying connected. So build the bridge, take the breath, say what's true without tearing the other person down. Don't let one hard moment become the reason you lose something valuable. How you fight says more than how you love. Love isn't shown in the smooth. It's revealed in the storm. Build, don't burn. Giving without losing. Love them without leaving. You loving them shouldn't mean losing. You love doesn't ask you to disappear. If you're constantly pouring into someone else and finding yourself empty, something's off. Loving someone should never cost you your identity, your voice, or your sense of peace. You matter in the relationship too. You don't exist just to meet their needs while burying your own. This isn't selflessness, it's self-abandonment. And that's not love, that's survival. Real love includes you. It values your voice. It respects your boundaries. You were not put here to disappear in the name of connection. Love them, yes, but don't lose yourself in the process. That's not balance. That's burnout. Sacrifice isn't surrender. Stop confusing the two. There's a difference between giving and giving up. Sacrifice is when you compromise out of care. Surrender is when you silence yourself out of fear. You can make space in a relationship without erasing who you are. You can bend without breaking. But when us always means, not you, the love becomes lopsided. Healthy relationships require adjustments, but they don't require your silence, your dreams, or your self-worth as the price. Don't confuse love with submission. Giving is powerful when it comes from choice, not fear. Sacrifice should feel like growth, not defeat. Are you loving from strength, or a fear of being alone? Why are you still there? Why do you stay when it hurts more than it heals? If the answer is fear, then it's not love you're living in, it's survival. Some people pour everything into someone else, not because they're full, but because they're afraid to be alone. Afraid to start over. Afraid they'll never find love again. But fear-driven love doesn't protect you. It drains you. When you love from fear, you shrink. When you love from strength, you expand. Ask yourself, are you choosing this out of fullness? Or because you're scared of the silence? The answer matters. Love like water. Nourish both. Don't drown yourself. Think of love like water. It should nourish, not flood. It should help you grow, not pull you under. If you're constantly pouring and they're just receiving, eventually your well runs dry. You can't be the source for someone who refuses to carry their own weight. Love isn't about drowning yourself so someone else can stay afloat. It's about balance. Refill your own cup while you pour. Share the load. When love is mutual, it flows like a stream, steady, shared, alive. But if it's always one-sided, it turns into a flood, and floods destroy. Don't drown in the name of devotion. Boundaries aren't barriers. They're proof you love you too. Setting boundaries doesn't make you cold. It makes you clear. It says, I love you and I love me too. When you draw a line, it's not rejection, it's self-respect. Boundaries protect your peace, your time, your energy. Without them, love becomes an emotional free-for-all. You lose yourself trying to keep someone else close. But when you set the line, you teach people how to treat you. You show up stronger. You love deeper, because your love doesn't come at the cost of yourself. Boundaries aren't walls to keep love out. They're doors that protect what's real inside. Give your heart, but keep your identity. Give love, give care, but don't give yourself away. Don't lose your voice just to keep someone else comfortable. Love that erases you isn't love. It's dependency. If you can't recognize yourself in the mirror anymore, it's time to recenter. Your heart is meant to be shared, not surrendered. Keep your dreams. Keep your purpose. Keep your truth. The right love won't ask you to trade your identity for their affection. It'll celebrate both. Give deeply, but stay rooted, because the love that's meant for you will never ask you to become less to be kept. You want real love? Start with the mirror. You say you want real love, deep love, lasting love. But here's the truth. Before you find it out there, you have to build it in here, in the mirror, in your habits, in your healing. Real love doesn't begin with finding the right person. It begins with becoming the right person. Because no matter who walks into your life, you bring yourself to the table. Your fears, your triggers, your patterns, your power. You don't get to skip that part. You don't get to outsource your growth. If you want a relationship that thrives, you have to be willing to face yourself first. That mirror, that's where the work starts. That's where the love begins. It's not about perfect people. It's about real work. Forget the fairy tales. Forget the image of two flawless people magically falling into place. That's not love. That's fiction. Love isn't about perfect timing, perfect chemistry, or perfect people. It's about two real humans doing the real work, showing up when it's uncomfortable, apologizing when it hurts your pride, choosing each other. Love. Because love needs space for mistakes, growth, and grace. If you're chasing someone flawless, you're not ready to love. You're trying to avoid reality. Real love is built, not found. So stop looking for perfect. Start building something honest. Be the standard. Be the example. Be the energy. Stop waiting for someone else to lead. Be the standard. Show up with the love you say you want. Be the one who communicates clearly, who respects deeply, who listens fully, who brings peace, not drama. Don't just talk about high standards. Live them. Be the example, not just for others, but for yourself. When you act from your truth, you attract people who honor it. Be the energy you want to feel in the relationship. You want peace. Bring peace. You want honesty. Speak it. You want effort. Show it. Love follows energy, and you are responsible for the energy you bring. The love you crave requires. The you've been avoiding. Here's the part no one tells you. The love you want will stretch you. It will demand more honesty, more healing, more presence than you're used to. And if you haven't built that version of yourself yet, you'll sabotage what you say you want. You can't have steady love with shaky self-worth. You can't have honesty when you hide from your own truth. The version of you that will hold real love, that's the one you keep avoiding. The one that faces the fear, that stops running, that tells the truth, and takes the hit. The sooner you meet that version, the sooner love finds a place to stay. Why wait to be chosen? Choose yourself first. Why do you keep waiting? Waiting for someone to see you, pick you, validate you, love you the way you've never loved yourself. That wait, it ends today. Because the moment you choose yourself, everything shifts. You stop settling. You stop chasing. You stop asking, what's wrong with me? And start standing in what's right with you. You don't need to be picked. You need to pick yourself. Not in ego, in truth, in quiet strength. Choosing yourself means building the life, the peace, the healing you deserve, whether or not someone's clapping for it. Stop waiting to be seen. See yourself. That's where it starts. Be the love you've been searching for. You've been searching, hoping, wishing someone would show up and fill the void. But what if that person is you? What if the love you're craving isn't missing? It's just been misplaced. In everyone else. In temporary fixes. In people who couldn't meet you. Because you hadn't fully met yourself. Be the love you've been searching for. Be the one who brings calm to your chaos. Who stands steady in the storm. Who listens, shows up, and keeps promises to themselves. Because when you become that love, real love finds you. Not because you're chasing it, but because you're living it.